The 1900s, the turn of the 20th century, the prime of the American dream. The 1900s were a very changing time, not only in the United States but in the world, but for the sake of this video, we will be focusing on America. People believed that sky was the limit and that you could achieve anything, especially freedom, by emigrating to the United States. Between the years 1900 and 1915, about 15 million immigrants came to the United States in search of a better life. People outside of the US believe that roads in America were paved with gold. I mean, there's little to say other than most were greatly disappointed when they arrived in American land. So, in this video, I will be addressing an immigrant family in the 1900s. This is our protagonist. His name is Josef Lieb. He is a Hungarian Jew immigrating to the United States in search of a better life. Joseph, like most men in this time, works in a steel factory, in a steel mill, sorry. As you can see, he has this very Central European vest. He has shoes, socks, his cap. His ambition is to be extremely wealthy. He's very ambitious, very active, and his disappointment makes him a little gloomy. I'm sorry, Joseph. So, as I mentioned, Joseph is a Hungarian Jew, and most of the people that came to America during this time were escaping religious, racial, and political persecution, or just simply seeking a relief from a lack of an economic opportunity. Most people actually were um, they were forced to leave their homes due to famine, which was sadly something very common in some European countries. Also, despite Joseph being light skinned, if you did not speak English, you were not considered a white American in the United States. Remember, right now, 9 out of 10 Americans in the US are Caucasian. Most of them are descendants from British settlers. So, Joseph married Dorothy Lieb, maiden name Murphy. Dorothy is a descendant of Irish immigrants. Her ambition is to have a big happy family. She is a glutton. I don't think you can be very picky when you barely escaped the Irish famine of the time. She's cheerful and she is very family oriented. I think I got most of her clothes right for a lower class woman of the time. I also her body type. I don't think she would wear a corset, so she looks very, very filled. I like her. And Dorothy's actually a Sunday school teacher. She was brought up Catholic. And the reason why most women were teachers in this time and for most of the time was because they were considered to be more nurturing, quote unquote, towards children. And they could also pay them way lower wages than men. Now, I'm gonna introduce you to Dorothy and Joseph's firstborn. His name is Jacob Lieb. Jacob, just like his father, he works at the steel mill. He's wearing jean, which it was a worker clothes more than a fashion statement. Jacob, at the time, literacy rates were very, very poor, and there was very low life expectancy. So his ambition, I made him want to be a whiz. He's very outgoing. He's very self-assured, and he works 12 to 16 hours a day for $1 to $2. Man, I thought minimum wage was bad. These people had it really, really rough. And if you think he has it bad, he looks just like his father. Oh my god. I'm going to introduce Rachel next. So Rachel, as you can see, as a child, she takes up to her mom that very nice red-haired color. She also works in a factory, in a coal mine actually. And since she is a child and she's smaller, she is given more dexterous tasks, and there are no child protective laws to protect her. And she's probably gonna grow up and be a housewife or a Sunday school teacher, just like her mother. Women really didn't have that many opportunities back in these days. And finally, you have the baby, Abel. At this time, child mortality rates were really high, so were the deaths of infants due to lack of hygiene and just poor advances in medicine. So, if children could die in The Sims, I wouldn't be surprised if April didn't make it past winter. I know it's this really dark thought. My friend was like, "Oh my god," but I mean, that's history. It's true. It's ugly, but let's hope child services doesn't take him away from the family during game time. So, while most coming immigrants settled in cities such as Boston or New York, there were still some that settled in small farmlands in outskirts of cities or in other smaller cities. This is an example. I actually molded this house after a 1900s farmhouse that I saw. It's very, very small, very, very humbling. It's 2 rooms and a bathroom. Monophones were a very recent invention that few had the luxury to afford, and as you can see, the Lieb household, Joseph, he used to be a farmer, so there's a lot of farm equipment in the kitchen. It's just one table, it's made out of wood. He probably crafted it himself. There's a weight in the back, and the house is falling apart. Oh my god, there's even a spider. And even, I'm really proud of the scene. Even the food, they're having like this bean, sausage, porridge-like looking thing. I think it's Franken beans in the game, but it's just very, very fitting, I think. And of course, Dorothy made it because she is the lady of the house. And as you can see behind Joseph, we have one single picture. I don't think they can afford more. Photographs and cameras have already been invented, and they're becoming increasingly popular. There's poor Abel. I hope he doesn't get sick outside. And as you can see, Dorothy, very loving mother at the time. Remember, back in the day, electricity was very rare. There was no fridge, so people would just kind of stack everything in warehouses or grow it out of their own farms. This is the closest I can get to a farm, a little garden. Also, you had to rely on carpenters or in DIY projects. Winters were very, very cold and summers were very, very hot, and there was no AC, which I'm from Texas, I live in Texas, I would be dead. So you had to rely on old fireplaces in order to survive. So here you have Rachel and Jacob trying to keep warm and just enjoying. You can see some logs in the background. And, there's also a fridge in the background. I put it because I need it in order to. They make the Sims cook, but other than that, it is not required. Also, electricity, as I said before, it has been invented already, and it was just very rare for people to have it, especially an American immigrant. I'm sorry. The entire family sleeps in one room, so that's 5 beds in one room. If they were 8 kids, they would all probably sleep there. Running water, just like electricity, is very, very rare. Very few people had tubs, and I'm assuming in a normal situation they would just take care of their business out, but this is The Sims and I need to give them a bathroom, so that's the bathroom. Again, ignore the fridge. But, well, I am afraid that we are nearing the end of the video, but that is just a small taste of the 1900 life, of the life of a 1900s American family. So, thank you. Let me know if you liked the video.